Hi, Room 11. Good morning. It is Monday, our second week of distance learning. I think today is the 30th, though days are kind of blending together, which is why my video is a little bit late today because I, for some reason, thought it was still Sunday when I woke up. So I went back to sleep, but you know what happens. At least we can do our little working from home and schooling from home kind of at our own pace. I am trying to stay on a schedule, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and today it just didn't work out. Anyway, I really miss you guys, and I am hoping that things start to get better and we'll be able to see each other soon. If not, just again, keep working, keep reading, and be nice to your siblings and parents. I understand how difficult it can be because even myself, and a couple times the last couple of weeks, I've been very frustrated just because I feel like I've been just stuck at home, and I understand why it's so important that we do that, but sometimes I'm just like, you know how it is, I'm sure. Anyway, so today, Monday, we're going to take a look at what our daily work is. So this week it's writing our fictional narratives. So today you would choose an option to write about under the W. There's a lot of really fun ones that I was looking at. Thinking of an animal that you would be if you had to be an animal. Write a story about changing places with that animal for a day. On a rainy day, you notice that your closet is a portal to another world. Write about your adventures in this world. And then some people say that everyone has a twin somewhere in the world. Write a story about meeting your twin. And what's funny about this one is I had a friend who lived in Illinois who was like convinced that I had a twin sister living there. And he would text me all the time being like, I saw your twin today. I saw your twin today. And it's just kind of funny to think about some tall, curly-haired, redheaded lady wandering out Illinois that looks like me, I guess. So this one made me chuckle a little bit. So again, pick one of those, write a few paragraphs, a whole entire paper, or writing, whatever you want to do, however much that you can get out. But remember, you're trying to write as much as possible to answer the prompt, so just make sure that you're answering that prompt there. And then Egypt, history, and mystery. So this is a really interesting one, and it made me think of one student in particular when I saw it, just because I know her fascination with Egypt. Read and annotate the passages on page 2 to 3. So that would be your underlining, highlighting, circling words, all of that. That's what you'll do today for the reading part. And then independent reading, I would love if you could. So I'm going to do independent reading in any kind of book. As for math, factors and factor pairs, so that's page 11, and I'll take a look at that with you in just a minute. And then 20 minutes of physical activity and iReady Math if you're able to. Something kind of cool, Travis and I finally found some yeast on one of our grocery shopping trips, and we were able to bake bread last night, and that was really fun. And it just, if you guys are able to bake or like to cook with your families, that's such a really great way to practice your fractions. We had first intended to have the recipe to make one loaf, and then somewhere along the line we forgot to keep having it, so we had to add other stuff into it, do a little bit of math to figure that out. But the bread turned out really good, and it was actually pretty surprising because neither of us had ever baked bread before, so that was kind of a fun new experience for us. And I had to stop myself from eating a lot of it because it just tasted so good, because it was nice and fresh and warm, and it was a really fun thing to do, and I hope to do it again, even though it was a lot of work and a lot of time. But it was just a really fun experience, and I hope to do it again. So let me get the math very quickly for you. All right, so this week is focusing on like factors and factor pairs and multiples. So remember, factors are the numbers that when you multiply them together, they give you your product. And if you're looking at a multiplication chart, the factors are the numbers on the outside, so it's kind of like the pie crust, and then the multiples are the ones inside. So this page today wants you to find all the factor pairs for each number. And remember, when we learned this, I told you that we should always start with 1 and itself. So for 16, you'd be 1 and 16. And then you move up to the next number, which is 2. And you think to yourself, what times 2 gives me 16? And then normally you would find one that had 2. Not every single number has a 2 in it. So it would be 2 and 8. And then you think 3. Anything times 3, does that get me 16? And nope. Then 4. What times 4 gives me 16? 4 times 4. Then I go to 5. There's nothing for 5. 6, nothing for 6. 7, nothing for 7. And then we got to 8, so it would be 8 and 2 again, even though that is the same as this one right here. And then 9, nothing. 10, nothing. 11, nothing. 12, 13, 14, 15, and then we got 16 again, which would be 16 and 1. So that means that 1 times 16 is 16, 2 times 8 is 16, 4 times 4 is 16, 8 times 2 is 16, and 16 times 1 is 16. So you'll want to do that for all of these here. And then number 9 says, how could you find all of the factor pairs of 30 using a set of 30 pennies? So you just want to think, how could you use 30 pennies to figure that out? And if you have 30 pennies or any kind of change at home, you could use that change to figure that out. And then 10 is explain why 7 is not a factor of 40. So why is 7 not a factor of 40? Think about what a factor is and what it means. And then you should be able to figure that out. I know last week I promised that I was going to do a little directed draw, and I forgot to do it in all of the things that were going on. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to get this video in and uploaded, and then I'm going to record my directed draw for you guys to do if you want to. And I will also link that video in the video so you guys can give it a try if you're able to. Anyway, have a great Monday. Please have your parents email me or message me if they have any questions. And like I said last week, I'm trying to figure out a way for me to like video chat with a couple of groups of you at a time, just so we can kind of see each other's faces and catch up a little bit. That being said, have a fabulous morning and day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.